Hey guys, my name is Ryan, and in today's video we're going to be making what I'm calling the Cottage bear. Two variants here. We have the Petal Hood, which I'm making in the video, and then this pointier sort of elf style hood, which I didn't have time to put in the video, but the pattern's going to be in the description. So if you want to make that version, don't worry, I got you covered. For today's video, we're going to be using worsted weight yarn, any color you want, but I decided to go with this tan color, and we're going to be using the good old 3.5mm hook, which I use pretty much all my patterns. And then of course we're going to need scissors, a tapestry needle, and some kind of stuffing, either polyester stuffing or yarn scraps, though polyester stuffing does work better for plushies like this. So to start off, we're going to make a magic loop. So I just put it over my finger like that, and I chain up 3. I'm going to be going kind of quickly in this video. This isn't a beginner tutorial, just because it's such a long tutorial. So I'm not going to be going over everything really slowly. And we're going to be putting 6 single crochet into the magic loop to start off our leg. I'm going to place a marker, and then for round 1 we're going to increase 6 times. So we're going to single crochet twice into each of these 6 stitches to give us 12 stitches. For round 2, we're going to single crochet 1 increase, but we're going to be doing it in the back loops only. So there's that little V of our stitch, and we're just going to be working in the back loops. So this is an increase, so 2 and 1, and then we are just going to repeat that. So 1 more single crochet, 1 more increase. You're going to do that 6 times for 18 stitches. For round 3, we're going to make the little point of our bear's toe. So we're going to single crochet 1 and then decrease. And I always do the invisible decrease, which is in the front loops only. So here's how you do that. Pull up a loop, pull through 2, and then we're going to repeat that 2 more times. So single crochet and then decrease. And then once more, single crochet and decrease. And this is going to be the little tip of our bear's toe. And then for the rest of the round, we're just going to single crochet 9, and you should have a total of 15 stitches. And to continue our leg, we're going to single crochet around for 8 rows. And at the end of this row, I'll show you how I put in a little stitch marker at the front of the foot, just so you don't get confused. Though you don't really have to do that. The pattern should be correct, but if you want peace of mind that they're both pointing the right direction, you can do that. So for the end of leg 1, we're just going to single crochet 1 extra stitch because we want it to be in the middle of the inside of the leg there. So I'm going to do 1 extra stitch and then break our yarn for leg 1. But then when we go on and make leg 2, we are going to single crochet 9 extra because we want to get to the left side of the leg. So we're going to single crochet 9 extra, and we are not going to break our yarn because we're going to connect these 2 legs together. So when we're ready to connect our 2 legs, we're going to chain 2, and this is going to be in between the legs there. And then you're going to start on leg 1 directly where you finished off in that first available stitch. And now we're connected, so we're going to single crochet 8 over to the side of the leg there. And once you're at the side, you're just going to do an increase, so another 2 in 1 stitch, and then you're going to single crochet the remaining 6 stitches of this leg. Now we're going to single crochet 2 from this chain, and so this is going to be the back side of the chain, so we're just going to find these 2 little bumps on the back of the chain, and we're going to single crochet in each one of those, 1 and 2. They might be a little tight depending on how tightly you chained, and then we're going to single crochet 7 on leg 2 across to the other side. And once you're on the side of the leg there, you're going to do another increase, and then you're going to single crochet the remaining 7 stitches from leg 2, and then you'll single crochet 2 across the other side of that middle chain, and then we're just going to single crochet 4 extra to get us a little bit further away from that edge. For round 13, we're going to add 2 little increases to the front of the bear to give them a little bit of a poofy belly. So we're going to single crochet 28 till we get to the front here, and then we're going to increase, single crochet 4 in the middle of the little belly area, and then do another increase, and then single crochet 2. And at the end of this round, you should have 38 stitches. Next up, you're just going to single crochet around for 6 rounds plain before we start doing our decrease. So for round 20, you've done your 6 rounds plain, and we're going to start decreasing in the back here. So you're going to single crochet 9, decrease, single crochet 9, decrease, and then single crochet 16 for a total of 36 stitches. And then for row 21, we're going to put our decreases on the sides instead of the back. So we're going to single crochet 5 to this first side, decrease, single crochet 15 all the way to the other side, decrease, and then single crochet 12. And at the end, you should have 34 stitches. And now you should start decreasing as you go. Make sure to stuff those legs because it'll get harder and harder to do as you continue. And you can start stuffing the body as well. For round 22, we're going to do 2 more decreases on the back side of the body. So we're going to single crochet 8, decrease, single crochet 8, decrease, and then single crochet 14. And at the end of this round, you should have 32 stitches. Next up, we're going to put 2 more decreases on each side. So we're going to do single crochet 4, decrease, single crochet 13 across to the other side, decrease, and then single crochet 11, and you should have 30 stitches at the end of this round. Next up, we're just going to single crochet around twice for 30 stitches. For round 26, we are going to single crochet 3, decrease, and you're going to repeat that a total of 6 times until you only have 24 stitches. After your final decrease round, we're going to do 2 more plain rounds and make sure to stuff the rest of the body up all the way to the neck, and then we'll be ready to start our head. So we're going to start with the same number that we ended on with the decrease, so we're going to single crochet 3, increase, and we're going to repeat that for a total of 6 times until we get back up to 30 stitches. And we're going to keep increasing for the head every round 6 more stitches, so it'll be 4 increase, 5 increase, 6 increase, and then eventually round 33 is 7 increase, and you should have 54 stitches. And then after your head is big enough, we're going to single crochet around for 9 rows. And now we'll start to decrease our head, and it's basically the same as increasing but in reverse. So this round is going to be single crochet 7, decrease, and you're going to repeat that 6 times. At the end of this round you will have 48 stitches, and just like in the increasing, we're going to continue by decreasing 6 every round. So it'll be 7 decrease, and the next round will be 6 decrease, 5 decrease, 4 decrease, etc. until you're all the way down to 6 stitches, making sure to stuff the head as you go. And you can kind of stuff the head as much as you want. It can take a lot of stuffing. This final decrease round could be a little bit awkward, just try your best and decrease 6 times until you only have 6 stitches left, and then we're going to break our yarn and close up that hole. So we're going to put our yarn end on a tapestry needle and we're going to close up that hole. I like to call it like a drawstring bag type of thing. We're just going to go into each one of these 6 stitches, and I like going into only the front loop because I think that's just a tiny bit cleaner. And so I'm going to go into the first one, the needle pointing towards myself, the second one, the needle pointing away, and I'm just going to repeat that for all 6 stitches. So that was 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you're just going to pull that hole closed really tight, and it should close on its own. And then I just like making a little knot to secure that and make sure it never opens up again. So I'm just going to take a random little stitch here and make a half hitch knot there. And then the nice thing about making stuffies is that you can just poke that needle in and pull it out anywhere you want, and then just take your scissors and clip that end, and so now it's hidden inside the head there. Now for our arms, we're going to start with the same hook and yarn, and with the same starting round we're going to place 6 single crochet into a magic loop. Round 1, we're just going to increase 6 times for a total of 12 stitches. Round 2 is going to be a little bit different because we don't want it to be pointy like the legs were, so we're just going to single crochet 3, increase, and we're going to do that 3 times to give us 15 stitches. And for our arms, we're just going to single crochet around 10 rounds here. For round 13, we're going to put in a slight tapering, and we're going to single crochet 3, decrease for a total of 3 times until you only have 12 stitches, and then you're just going to do a final 2 rounds after that. And then once you've done those final 2 rounds of 12 stitches, we can stuff our arms. And I like stuffing them about 2/3 of the way up. If you stuff it all the way, the arms will kind of stick outwards instead of laying down flat, so that's why I do that. So I'm just going to break my yarn and make sure you have enough to sew, and then we're going to sew it onto the body. I like placing the arms just right under where the neck is, and I always like using pins to try to keep it in place. I did it a bit awkwardly here just because it's hard to do anything on camera, but I just kind of just decide where I want to put it, and then I add some pins here, and then we're just going to sew that in. then obviously when you sew on your second arm, you just want to make sure they're symmetrical and you're sewing it in on the same place. And there's this funny little hole at the bottom here where we connected our two legs. It's not super noticeable, but I do like to use that end from leg 1 just to close that up a little bit. So I'm just going to put that on a tapestry needle and just tighten up that hole. For our little tail, we're going to use the same hook and yarn, and you guessed it, we're going to put 6 single crochet into a magic loop. For round 1, we are going to single crochet 1, increase 3 times for a total of 9 stitches. For our second round, we're just going to single crochet 9 single crochet. For our third round, we're going to close up our tail by single crochet 1, decrease 3 times until we only have 6 stitches left. Then we're going to break our yarn with enough to sew, and then we're going to sew it onto our little bear. for both the eyes and the blushies, we're going to put 6 single crochet into a magic loop, and then for round 1 we're going to increase 6 times for a total of 12 stitches. And we're going to make 2 eyes obviously and 2 blushies, and here I'm just showing how to make a cleaner edge. So instead of pulling through the yarn, I'm just going to cut it and pull it through that stitch, and I'm going to put it on a tapestry needle. I'm going to skip 1 stitch, put it into the next stitch, back to front, which gives us a loop, and then I'm going to go front to back in through that top stitch, and this is basically creating a fake stitch, which just makes it a little cleaner. It makes it a little more round, because usually there'd be a bit of a jig jog there, so this just makes a perfectly round circle. So I did that on my 2 eyes and my 2 blushies, and now I'm just going to show you how I like sewing them on. The key is lots of pins. It can be pretty hard to keep things symmetrical. Just do your best. Things will slightly move as you sew them on. That's why I like using the pins. I would definitely do one side first and then just try to match as best you can on the other side, keeping in mind that we're going to have to fit that nose in between. And then to sew on our nose, I just have a long scrap of black yarn on a tapestry needle. I'm going to go in a random stitch and then come out where I want the edge of the nose to be. So I just picked this row here in the middle, and I'm going to go about 3 stitches down. Oops. I'm going to go about 3 stitches down, and then I'm just going out of another random stitch just so I can see what I'm doing. And then I want to pick a good middle spot, a good midpoint for the end of the nose. So I'm going to find that here. And I think here I'm actually splitting a stitch just because I want it to be perfectly centered. So that's about 3 rows down in the middle of a stitch, and then I'm going to find the middle underneath this bar that I've put in. And then because I want it to be a little bit thicker, I'm just going to go over each of these lines twice. And then like the rest of my sewing, I'm just going to poke that needle back in where I left my first end, back through this stitch, making sure not to split any yarn. And then I'm just going to make a double knot and cut that and hide it inside the body. Next we're going to start on the petal hood, so we're going to use the same hook and just a different worsted weight yarn, preferably a little bit of a thinner worsted weight yarn if you can get it. And we're going to be working in double crochet for this, so I'm starting my magic loop here, and then I'm just adding an extra chain so that I'm chained up 3, and then we're going to put 10 double crochet into this magic loop. At the end of every round, since we're not working in a spiral, we're going to slip stitch into the top of this chain 3. And then we're going to chain up 3 more to restart our next round. So for round 1, we're going to increase 10 times. So I'm going to make a double crochet in this stitch here, and the chain 3 counts as a stitch, so that's already an increase. And then in every other stitch, we're going to add 2 double crochet, for a total of 20 stitches. For round 2, we're going to slip stitch, chain 3, and then we're going to increase in the first stitch, and then double crochet in the second stitch, and we're going to repeat that 10 times for a total of 30 stitches. For round 3, we're going to continue to increase, so a slip stitch to the top of the round, chain 3, and then you're going to increase and then double crochet 2 in the next, well, double crochet 1 in the next 2 stitches, a total of 10 times for a total of 40 stitches. Round 4 is increase double crochet 3 for a total of 50 stitches. Round 5 is increase double crochet 4 for 60 stitches. And then for round 6, we're just going to double crochet all the way around, no more increases, for a total of 60 stitches. Now we're going to start the back side of our hood. So we're going to first double crochet 40 stitches, and then at the end we're going to chain up 3 and turn, and we're going to decrease 2, so this is a double crochet decrease, and that's 1, and then another decrease. So you start the decrease, pull through 2, then start another decrease, pull through 2, then pull through all 3. And then we're going to decrease 32 to the other side, where we're going to do another 2 decrease for a total of 36 stitches. Round 8, we're going to double crochet 9, and then in the middle we're going to single crochet 18. Then on the other side we're going to double crochet another 9, and that should give you 36 stitches. For round 9, we're going to turn, do 1 decrease, 1 double crochet decrease, then double crochet 7, single crochet 18 in the middle, and then repeat with double crochet 7 and 1 decrease for a total of 34 stitches. For round 10, we are going to decrease 1, then double crochet 6, single crochet 18, double crochet 6, and then decrease for a total of 32 stitches. for this last row, we're going to decrease 1, and then we're going to double crochet 28 to the other side, where we're going to decrease 1 more for a total of 30 stitches. Now that our hood is long enough and it fits, we're going to make a little chain across for the chin strap. So to do that, we are going to chain 13. Once you've chained 13, we're going to chain 5 extra to make a little loop. So that's 5, then we're going to slip stitch into the sixth stitch, and we're going to start our petal pattern. So we're going to chain up 8, and then we're going to skip 3 chains like you would with a normal double crochet. So into the 4th chain from the hook, we're going to double crochet, and we're going to double crochet 4, so that's 2, 3, and then 4, and in the final chain we're going to single crochet 1, and then in our main chain there down at the bottom, to finish off this petal, we're going to slip stitch 1, and then single crochet in the next chain, and then we're going to repeat that. So we're going to do that 5 more times for a total of 6 petals. Once you have 6 petals, you'll be at the end of this chin strap. So I've finished this 7th petal, and here it's going to change a little bit. We are going to slip stitch into the next stitch, which is no longer a chain, and then instead of single crocheting, we're going to decrease. So here I'm doing the invisible decrease again in the 2 front loops, and this is just to make the back of the neck a little bit smaller, make it hug it a little bit better. So we're going to continue that petal pattern until there's only 2 stitches remaining. We've come all the way to the end here with our final petal, so we're going to slip stitch, single crochet instead of a decrease, and then in this final stitch we're going to put a 5 double crochet bobble. So you're going to start a double crochet, go through 2, then start another double crochet, go through 2, and you're going to do that 5 times till you have 5 double crochet on your hook, and then you're going to go through all those stitches to give a bobble, and then we're going to slip stitch into that same stitch if I can figure out how to do that correctly. And then we're going to chain up 1. Now we're going to crochet around the outline of the face. So we're going to go up the side of the face here, and we're going to single crochet 2 per row. So each one of these double crochet bars are going to get 2 single crochet around it. So that is 12 single crochet up the side. Once you're at the top, we're going to do another decrease at the corner there, and then we're going to single crochet 16 across to the other side, and then we're just going to repeat everything we just did. So we're going to do another decrease and then single crochet down the other side of the face. And at the very end here, we're back at this little chin strap, so we're just going to slip stitch into each one of these 13 stitches on the back side of the chain, and then after that we're done. We're just going to break our yarn and weave in our ends. And so now we have our hood with our little chin strap, and I'll show you how to close it. So you're going to take the little eyelet we made at the end of this chin strap. I don't know what else to call that, a chin strap. And you're going to take the bobble and use it like a little button to tighten it up like that. And so yeah, very cute. And so now all we have left to do is the little ears to make our bear a bear. Because if you haven't realized, our bear has no ears yet. I ended up accidentally making the ears for the pointy little elf hood instead. There's not really much of a difference, except this one is half double crochet instead of double crochet, just because I thought it looked a little bit better. So yeah, we're going to make a magic loop, and then we're going to put 8 half double crochet into the magic loop. For round 1, we're going to increase into every stitch until we have 16 stitches. And for the ears, we're going to be crocheting in a spiral, so there's no need to slip stitch and chain up. And then we're just going to half double crochet around for 2 rounds. For our decrease round, we're going to decrease 8 times, and we're going to do a half double decrease. I kind of do this differently. I wrap my hook for the first stitch, start a stitch, and then for the second stitch I just do a single crochet, because I think that's slightly less bulky than wrapping the hook each time, but you can do whatever you want. Now that both our ears are done, we're going to sew it onto the top of the hood, wherever you think they should go, basically. And of course, I like using pins to keep it in place. I might have set these a little too far back, but it still looked good, so it's fine. And then obviously, we're not going to sew this into the head. I'm just seeing where I want it to go, and then I'm going to take the hood off the head in order to sew on the ears. And yeah, that's the end of our petal hood on our little bear. Like I said, I just didn't have time to film the pattern for for the pointed hood, but it will be down in the description. It's quite simple. It's basically just a rectangle that you sew up one side in the back there and then add the ties. So pretty simple, and that's going to be again down in the description, but I will also have the Etsy link if you want to pay for a printable copy of the pattern. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you make this. I'm really proud of this cute little cottage bear pattern. If you have any questions or anything you want me to make, put that down below in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!